Hello and welcome to another BWB Mailbag. I'm getting set up for my stream tonight, so I'm able to do this, with my proper setup and not just on my phone, which is nice, so I can show off this. You may notice if you go to my Amazon wish list, which is in the show description, I often throw a few things at the bottom that maybe don't quite fit with the channel, or maybe gear related, like the chair that I'm sitting in, the table that I'm working on right here, stuff that would be helpful for the stream, but isn't, a model kit. This kind of rides the line because it is a case that I will build. You're seeing here, this is the Model B, not the B+, but the Model B version 3 of the Raspberry Pi. I'll take this and put it on this box here so we can see it. If you've never seen a Pi up close, underneath is where the SD card goes. I need to buy a new one. I thought my 2 gig was enough for minimum specs. Apparently 4 gig is the minimum. I bought a 32. It's fine. I could have bought a 64, but 32 will do for what I'm doing. There's a power adapter here, the HDMI. If you want to go red-yellow video, you can go out from that. Or if you need to go audio, if for some reason your device doesn't do audio HDMI out. It's got built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which is great, and 4 USB, and then also it has LAN, which is great, either for networking, transferring files, or for just plugging into the internet if you want to do some other stuff with your Pi. Now, I'm going to be playing retro games on this. I'm going to play some NES games, Super Nintendo games, things of that nature. I'm going to put Retro Pi on here, and the basic idea is that I'm going to be able to play some of those games on the road. I could plug it into the little monitor I have at the League of Heels table in Bandland, and then people could play some classic games, or I could hook it up to a TV, bring it with me. Theoretically, we could run League of Heels shows off this if we were playing very classic games, especially with Bluetooth, being able to get those controllers plugged in. But yeah, there's a lot of options for it. And I had it on my wish list because it's something I've always wanted to have, but also because Retro Power put out this fake-ass Lego thing. These are not Legos. We'll talk about that. But this is a brick case for the Raspberry Pi that looks, you can get one that looks like a Super Nintendo. This one looks like an NES. I saw someone build one of these on YouTube, one of the channels I follow, and I was like, that's cool. I could build that on stream. So I put it on my wish list. You can see here. I'll turn it so you can look at that. Retro bricks. Never says Lego, because these are clearly not Lego. They're definitely not Lego knockoffs. They're not Legos. I thought maybe they just bought a bunch of Legos and were like repurposing them, but that would probably be too expensive because this was not super pricey. But yeah, it's got the instructions. The instructions are fine. Tell you what to build. They're not really showing exactly where they go. You kind of got to figure that out as you do it. But the idea is that you build an enclosure. You can see right there, and that's where the Pi goes. I appreciate this Pi is an actual photo instead of the render, which I think is kind of a funny idea. But yeah, it fits in there. It fits in the cartridge slot, which means that when you build it, you have to open the cartridge lid, which is a working lid, and plug your controllers in there. And then on this side is your HDMI port and your power port, which isn't right. And I've thought about this. If I did wireless, you don't have to open it. Have I thought about turning it around, actually removing some of these pieces, and then taking out where the on the side, I'll show you on the side here, they'll show it eventually. There is a part where you put the some fake Lego bricks to simulate. Where is it? There it is. You can see it there. You simulate the audio and video ports. Let's see if I can do this here. You can see right there. I've thought about that, taking those out and making it so, and maybe running a really long HDMI adapter out of that so that you would actually plug in where you should plug in. And then maybe even doing power out of the back instead of that. Instead of this fake port that's not real, you can see there. I've thought about it. I don't know if I would do that. I'm sure there are mods out there. People have modded it. It's just something about lifting up the cartridge slot. Like, I like the idea of lifting it up to put in the USB. I think that's a funny idea, or a good idea. I don't know if it's funny, but I think that's a fun idea. That's what I meant. Because the hinge actually works, but I don't like the idea that if you're just using like 2 USB controllers or a keyboard, you got to do that. But the Bluetooth means that you technically don't need it. So Lego pieces here. They're not Lego. I opened up one bag so I could take these out. You can see there's a little dot there, and it feels wrong. They don't feel like Legos. They snap fine. I would say that they're a little shallow. Let me show up there. Yeah, they don't feel quite right. I guess that feels fine, but whatever. They're not real Legos. You could theoretically go to one of the Lego sites where you put in the pieces you want and you can buy them. You could make your own. You could, like, get a listing of all of the pieces here that are in this kit. Also, one thing I do think is interesting, instead of a big base, the first thing you do is you disassemble this, and then you're putting pieces on to kind of reinforce it, and I like that idea. I think that's a fun idea. So this is going to be cool. My plan is to make this, because this will not take long. It's 307 pieces. I can knock this out in a stream. So my plan is that I'm going to do this in between the Spiegel, which I'm currently working on at the time of this recording. I'm recording this on Thursday. I'll be streaming tonight, which is why my setup is done. The plan is that when that's done, I'll just build this, and then I'll go to my perfect grade. Because that perfect grade is going to take a while, but I want to do this on stream because it was bought off my wish list by an anonymous person. I should say that. Hey, whoever bought this, the power, and the brick set, you bought all 3. Thank you. I don't know who you are. You're anonymous, but thank you so much. I really and truly appreciate it. But yeah, I figured I'd just build that because it's going to be a quick thing, and that'll be before the perfect grade, which is going to be like, half a month to a month of building. Like, it's going to be a long process. So that's on deck. I'm going to get this up right now on YouTube so that it'll go out to everyone tomorrow. Go to my Patreon today at the time of the recording this. Thanks so much for watching. This is a long one because I really wanted to go through it. It's not just like, hey, someone bought this, it's cool. I want to talk about it a bit because it's a unique thing. So yeah, the retro bricks from Retro Power. Definitely not an NES. Definitely not. It's also going to be bigger than an NES. I think structurally it has to be, so it's going to look weird. But I'm going to build it, and I'll talk to you soon on the next BWB Mailbag. Check the show description. Buy something off my wish list, and I'll build it on the stream. Bye-bye.